All right, y'all. So sometimes I'm a little bit crazy and I take 6 orders at once. So these 6 orders will be for Target. These are shipped orders, and 3 of them are small, and then 2 of them are mid-size, and then one of them is a little bit on the larger side. So let me take you on a journey to shop 68 items with me. So first and foremost, I have 2 carts for this chaos. First and second order will go here, third order here, fourth order here, and then fifth and sixth will be split down here. And we don't have under portions of the carts here, so I have to get a little more creative. All right, so the way that I like to go about it is I like to get peculiar items first, and then, for instance, candles, just in case they're out, it gives the customer time to pick something else. And then I go for anything non-perishable. So this is what we have going so far. I need to move into produce, and then soon we will be moving on to the frozen items and cold items. All right, y'all, and this is the final result. We got all 6 orders in here. All right, I just need to bag it and get these babies delivered. First cart is done. Putting this back. And fit like a glove. You guys, I ran around that store as fast as I could. And of course, one of the ladies, she was like, if you could deliver early, that would be great. I was like, oh man, I would love to, but it's going to be on time. But anyways, so I am delivering now, and I will let you guys know what the final tally is before I close this out. All right, I completed my 6 orders, and it took me roughly an hour and 50 minutes to shop, bag, deliver everything. And the driving took me roughly 45 minutes to deliver all 6 orders. They were headed in the same direction, and so that puts them at about 7.5 minutes per delivery. So I estimated, like calculated what it should pay me. And so for Shipt, what they do is they show you how much the order is paying you, and then either they'll show you nothing for the tip, or they'll not zero, but nothing. Like there just won't be anything there. Or they'll show you that there's an estimated tip that's usually based on the way that the customer has tipped previously with their previous orders. And so if a customer like typically tips 10%, then Shipt is able to estimate, oh, 10% of whatever the customer is spending on their order, and that'll be the estimate. And then they also have a pre-tip that can be there, but most people with Target do not pre-tip. So when I calculated everything, it came out to $50 in base pay to deliver all 6 of these orders. And then only one order had an estimated tip attached, and that was $12. So I should make at minimum $62. And then I personally find that probably roughly 75 to 80% of my customers do tip me. And that actually only increases as I do this more and more, because I gain more and more people that I'm shopping for often. So I start to recognize like who tips and who doesn't. So anyways, I do think that that will probably roughly land between $80 and $100 after tips come in. And with Shipt, tips can come in a few minutes after you deliver, a few hours after you deliver, a few days after you deliver, a few weeks after you deliver. Like it can totally vary. And so, like for instance, this weekend I delivered, or this week I delivered several orders throughout the week, and this weekend I've probably received about $150 worth of tips that have finally rolled in from this week. And so, yeah, my guesstimation is probably will land between $80 and $100 unless I have one or two really generous tippers in there. But yeah, so $62. I'm currently sitting at that $31 an hour for those orders, but it should probably land somewhere between $40 and $50 an hour after everything is said and done. So those were my little 6 order run for the day. Hope you guys have a lovely day.